Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and thanks for joining us for the last edition of our 6 p.m. news this week over Camdis Television. Let's begin with our bullet points. Under the theme, Investing in Girls and Communities for a Future Free from Female Genital Mutilation, the Minister of Women's Empowerment and the Family, Professor Marie-Thérèse Abena-Ondwa, joined a global effort on the 19th International Day of Zero Tolerance for Female Genital Mutilation, calling for empowerment, community engagement, and the action to end the harmful practice. The Secretary of State at the Ministry of Basic Education, Dr. Asire Kilo, presided over a colorful and symbolic closing ceremony of the National Bilingualism Week this Friday at the Government Bilingual School, Kondongo. And we shall be taking a tour out of the country where Burkina Faso honored the enduring legacy of Captain Thomas Sankara with a military tribute celebrating his revolutionary vision, commitment to social justice, and influence on the nation's identity and Pan-African dues. These stories and more will be yours in a bit. Thanks once more for joining us. In a decree signed on February 5th, 2026, President Paul Biya has appointed Dr. Ndifonta Nyamdi Buma as Cameroon's Ambassador Extraordinary Plenipotentiary to the State of Israel. The announcement has been met with enthusiasm given the extensive background of Dr. Ndifonta in diplomacy, academia, and public service. In the following commentary, Bertrand Tita presents to us the new ambassador and the bilateral cooperation between Cameroon and the State of Israel. Let's take a listen.
The appointment of Dr. Ndifonta Buma Nyamdi as Cameroon's ambassador extraordinary plenipotentiary to the State of Israel, announced through a presidential decree signed on February 5, 2026, is a testament to President Paul Biya's commitment to strengthening bilateral ties between Cameroon and Israel. This move is not only a recognition of Dr. Ndifonta's exemplary service and expertise, but also a strategic decision to bolster cooperation between the two nations. As a scholar and diplomat, Dr. Ndifonta brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to his new role. His academic background in history, journalism, and international relations, coupled with his PhD from the London School of Economics and Political Science, positions him uniquely to navigate the complexity of international diplomacy. His previous roles, including Deputy Director General of CRTV and Director General of the Conference Center, demonstrate his leadership capabilities and understanding of Cameroon's sociopolitical landscape. The timing of this appointment is significant given the robust cooperation between Cameroon and Israel in areas such as agriculture, defense, security, technology, and innovations. Since establishing diplomatic relations in 1960 and strengthening ties post-1986, both countries have benefited from collaborative initiatives. Israel's support to Cameroon's Rapid Intervention Battalion B, agricultural training programs, and technological advancements are just a few examples of the fruitful partnership. Dr. Ndifonta's appointment is expected to further enhance these areas of cooperation. His diplomatic acumen and strategic vision will be instrumental in exploring new avenues for collaboration, particularly in renewable energy, healthcare, and innovation. The Balinyonga community's enthusiasm for this appointment underscores the confidence in his ability to represent Cameroon's interest effectively. Dr. Ndifonta Buma's appointment as ambassador to Israel is a commendable decision that promises to strengthen Cameroon-Israel relations. His expertise, leadership, and commitment to public service make him an ideal candidate for this role. As he embarks on the new journey, we anticipate a fruitful tenure that will benefit both nations and contribute to the regional and global development.
The Minister of Communication, Rene Emmanuel Sadi, in his New Year address outlined the 2026 vision for the country's communication sector, emphasizing the need for modernization and responsible media engagement. This announcement was made during the 2026 New Year wishes celebrations accorded to the minister by his collaborators on Thursday, February 5th, 2026. Freddy Esomo and Melanimbo.
À leur gouvernance respective.
In his sweeping New Year's address to the nation's press, the Minister of Communication laid a bold and comprehensive vision for 2026, placing youth, women, and a revitalized media sector at the heart of the national agenda. The ceremony, more than a traditional exchange of wishes, served as a launch pad for ambitious reforms, directly acknowledging that the communication family, a field dominated by brilliant and dynamic young men and women, is now seen as a primary engine for building a society of freedom and democracy.
Par les toutes prochaines élections législatives et municipales.
The upcoming legislative and municipal elections. These different electoral deadlines will once again require the highest level of involvement from actors in the national communications sector, not only in terms of protecting electoral materials, but also in terms of electoral operations.
L'actualité post-électorale.
The minister hailed the media's response coverage of the recent electoral period as a democratic triumph, a duty of citizenship that must be consolidated. This call for ethical journalism comes as a direct response to the global changes posed by digital technologies, which threaten both the moral fabric of youth and national stability. With legislative and municipal elections on the horizon, the ministry is mobilizing the entire sector, emphasizing its critical role not just in reporting, in safeguarding the democratic process itself through responsible engagement. To empower this mission, a series of concrete operational projects were announced. The experimental virtual information agency will be expanded nationwide, equipping over 48 departmental delegations with secure technical networks. This paves the way for the creation of an autonomous national press agency, a monumental shift in the country's information architecture. Beyond the digital frontier, the ministry is committed to tangible on-the-ground improvement. A significant infrastructure program includes the rehabilitation of the Northwest Regional Delegation, the construction of a new delegation in the Ocean Department, and the acquisition of vital office and transport equipment. The address also confronted sectoral challenges head-on, advocating for substantially increased state support to private media and highlighting the urgent need to resolve the precarious legal status of key public media organizations. Together, this initiative paints a picture of a communications sector in transformation, strengthened from the community radio board to the international news desks and poised to champion a modern, democratic, and proudly Cameroonian story.
And as you heard in one of our lead stories, the Minister of Women's Empowerment and the Family, Professor Marie-Thérèse Arbena-Ondua, has championed the fight against female genital mutilation, joining the global community for the 19th International Day of Zero Tolerance for the fight against female genital mutilation, as the world unites under the urgent theme investing in girls and communities for a future free from female genital mutilation. Emphasis is on a crucial shift in strategy to create a future where female genital mutilation is no longer a reality. We have Melanimbo once more and Freddy Esamo.
Today marks the 19th International Day of Zero Tolerance for Female Genital Mutilation, a global rallying cry under the powerful theme, Her Future are investment, building communities free from female genital mutilation. This year's focus spotlights a transformative strategy gaining momentum worldwide, one that champions investment in girls and local communities as the most effective blueprint for lasting change. It signals a pivotal move from viewing communities as obstacles to recognizing them as the essential architects of their own liberation from this deep-rooted practice. In Cameroon, the struggle against female genital mutilation remains acute, with the practice persisting as a severe human rights and public health violation in several regions. Despite ongoing efforts, cultural traditions continue to place girls at risk.
The female genital mutilations remain a reality in Cameroon and is still practiced in certain regions, despite the effort invested in sanitization and community mobilization to prevent it. Genital mutilation is a severe human rights violation, and in Cameroon is still prevalent in certain regions. That's why we are committed to work hand in hand with the government to ensure that no girl should be at the risk or under threat of such practice, which is a health issue and also an attempt to human rights.
The renewed commitment, therefore, is to deepen collaboration with the Cameroonian government and, most significantly, to empower grassroots organizations. This approach recognizes that sustainable eradication cannot be imposed from the outside, but must be cultivated from within.
The main issue is that the female genital mutilation is still linked to some cultural practices, and it's very, very important to work with grassroots organizations to build up movement at community level to ensure that there is a transformative approach to attack the root cause, which is mainly linked with cultural practices.
This community-centric model is the cornerstone of the new fight. It actively invests in girls' education, women's economic resilience, and locally led dialogue to dismantle the structures underpinning female genital mutilation.
Extremely important to continue to sensitize communities in view of the rarity of the finances. But I think we should also look for other sources of funding internally, while waiting to see what the international community can give us. So sensitization, sensitization, and sensitization.
As the world commemorates the vision of a future where every girl is safe and her bodily integrity inviolable is being woven into a fabric of communities themselves, the end of female genital mutilation becomes not just a hope, but an inevitability built on the strongest foundation of all: collective, courageous, and local ownership of change.
Still onto one of our lead stories, the Secretary of State at the Ministry of Basic Education, Dr. Ashiri Kilo, presided over a colorful and symbolic closing ceremony of the nationwide Bilingualism Week this Friday at the Government Bilingual School Nkondongo here in Yaoundé. The ceremony saw the presence of administrative authorities, education officials, teachers, pupils, and guests, underscoring the importance of the state placing on bilingualism as a cornerstone of national cohesion. Marked by rich cultural and academic activities, the ceremony highlighted people's language skills, innovative performances, and growing role of artificial intelligence in promoting bilingual learning. Beyond the celebration, officials emphasized that the real challenge lies in effectively using AI and modern tools to nurture truly bilingual Cameroonian citizens in line with the government's vision for inclusive and forward-looking education. Let's now take a listen to the Minister of State at the Ministry of Basic Education, Dr. Ashiri Kilo Vivian. In the following excerpt, she is speaking on the microphone of Freddy Esom.
The most important thing that the Ministry of Basic Education is preparing for this year, and which is almost ready, is the national policy for bilingualism. This is going to be ready in the very near future, and that will be implemented in our schools to ensure that all the schools are following what we have in the national policy. We have also received from our technical partners IT equipment that will be distributed to 33 schools. This, of course, will enhance the use of artificial intelligence and ICTs in our schools, and so give the pupils and the teachers another opportunity to have and to expand their notion in bilingualism. We also take the opportunity from time to time to send our teachers to the pilot centers to train in bilingualism, so that both staff and teachers of our ministry become bilingual. We are also pushing for an action where a day in the ministry would be for just English and another day for just French. And then throughout the week, you speak in a language that you have the better proficiency. We think that all of this will help our children to become bilingual. We've distributed reading materials to pupils both in English and in French, so that they can take some of the books home and have their parents help them read, and then at school too, they can have the teachers help them read and pronounce the words as they should be pronounced. The message I have for them, especially after having participated in the activities of today, is one of congratulations and continuous encouragement. I was overwhelmed by the expertise of our students in both, and our pupils in both languages. You could see in the activities that they presented before us that the children at this early age are beginning to be quite bilingual, and that is the hope of the head of state, President Paul Biya, that Cameroon becomes effectively bilingual, and that every Cameroonian should be able to express themselves somehow in English and in French.
And if you are just joining us, it is the 6 p.m. news over Camdis television. Let's now take a tour beyond our borders to get updates of what make news. First up will be in Burkina Faso. As you heard in one of our lead stories, Burkina Faso honored the enduring legacy of Captain Thomas Sankara with a military tribute on Thursday, February 5th, 2026, celebrating his revolutionary vision, commitment to social justice, and influence on the nation's identity and Pan-African dues. Second stop will be in Rwanda and then Morocco. These stories are compiled in the following report. In a solemn tribute rich in symbolism, Burkina Faso on Thursday held the fourth military homage ceremony in honor of Captain Thomas Sankara, the father of the August 1983 revolution. Presided over by the Minister Director of Cabinet of the President of Burkina Faso, Captain Martha Celeste Anderson, representing the head of state, the ceremony paid respect to the revolutionary leader assassinated in 1987. Remembered as a national hero and a powerful symbol of integrity, self-reliance, and Pan-Africanism, Sankara's vision profoundly shaped Burkina Faso's identity, championing social justice, women's emancipation, and sovereignty, values that continue to resonate deeply within the country and across Africa. Under mounting international pressure, Rwandan President Paul Kagame has reiterated a strong call for self-reliance as the United States considers new sanctions over Rwanda's alleged role in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo's conflict. Speaking in Kigali, Kagame said the country's survival should not depend on the goodwill of others amid accusations of backing the March 23 rebel group. While Rwanda denies direct military involvement, its ambassador to Washington has acknowledged security coordination with March 23 rebel AFC, insisting the move is meant to prevent cross-border threats rooted in the legacy of the 1994 genocide. More than 140,000 people have been forced from their homes in northern Morocco after days of torrential rain triggered severe flooding, submerging towns and farmlands. Kesa El Kibi, around 100 kilometers south of Tangia, was left underwater after the locust when they overflowed, with residents, including children and the elderly, rescued from rooftops by security forces using boats, while helicopters evacuated thousands in nearby Sidi Kassem province. Although no deaths have been reported, authorities warn that heavy rains and strong winds may persist, in a stark reminder of the growing impact of extreme weather following 7 years of drought. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our 6 p.m. news over Camdis television. It was a pleasure staying with you. We leave you in the company of interesting programs over the Republican channel. Until we meet again on Monday, do have a blessed weekend.
C'est l'actu, votre émission de débat sur des sujets d'actualité.
Welcome to